In this video, we will talk about a question what is for many couples pretty heavy on their hearts. So when do I know that it's either time to move on and to break up, or is there a way to reignite the passion and reignite that spark we once had in the beginning? So where is this all gone? Is it possible to reignite it? Or when do I know that it's time to move on? And we understand that this is definitely one of the heaviest questions to ask and to answer for yourself. I've been as well in this situation, so I know how hard this can be. And how easily we also can run into fantasy, potential, hope. What do I mean by this? When we love our partner so deeply, we want to have this intimacy and this passion, yet it's no longer there, and everyone is in their day-to-day life. We have this busy stress, maybe family, how do we actually can come back together and have this passion again? There's nothing you would wish more. I think there is one thing first, to sit down and be radically honest with yourself. Is this a phase? And I know so well how this feels. Is this a phase, or is this a true new reality for us? And this won't change so fast or even never. Sit down and be honest with yourself. If you yourself keeping on to a fantasy or a hope or potential that this will change when XYZ, or is this maybe a reality? To even better find it out is, what we also teach in Lola, is have a conversation about it.
Not with your friend,
Yeah.
which might be the case.
Yeah, sit down and check in with your partner. Yes, we love each other. Do we still choose each other in the version as the other partner is right now, and not the version it was 5, 10, 15 years ago? So we obviously evolve as a species, as humans, as a being. Do we choose this person still as it is right now, or do I want this person to change and then I would choose to stay with him or her? No, the version you have right now in your home, is this a person you want to stay with? Do you actually still have the same values, priorities, desires? Do you still have a shared vision for your relationship? I think these are the questions, what we are teaching in our framework, actually. The Connection and Intimacy Code has 3 pillars, and one of the pillars is honest communication. And in there, you check in with your partner. What are my values, desires? Do we have a shared vision? Where do we want to go with it? Is this equally important for us? Because maybe for your partner it isn't as important for you. Or you are in a place where maybe also your partner is not able to catch up with the situation you are in, or maybe you are in a faster pace than your partner, or you are in a different health state as your partner, or you are in a different financial state as your partner. All of these things affect your relationship, your connection, the passion, your intimacy life. So the first thing to sit down is, if I'm honest to myself, is this a phase or reality? Do we have a chance to reignite this? And then sit down and have the conversation together with your partner. Do we both want this equally? Do we both want to reignite the passion? Do we want to go back to honeymoon phase, to butterflies in the stomach, or to a more deepened, evolved kind of intimacy, still with spark and passion? Or there's not so much anymore to realign, to come back in the same boat? And this is also a reality. We say in Brad and Lola, let's normalize that relationships come to an end, even though this is incredibly painful. Can be. And sometimes, because especially when you love your partner deeply, and yes, I've been there, you don't wish anything more than to make this happen with your partner. And you see yourself getting all together. Yet when you sit down and realize, yeah, but maybe I'm holding more onto a fantasy than reality. And maybe there is not so much more what is truly aligned and truly bringing the same desires and priorities, then you should know to move on.
Especially when there's so much time, 10 years, 20 years. We're different. And especially if you're started on your 20s, like in your 20s, you're just getting to know yourself.
Yeah.
You will know yourself when you're 50. I don't know your age, but when you're 50, you know who you are, right? Or at least you start. When you're 20, you're just experiencing. And of course, if you get on your 20s, like you've changed so much. Now you know much more about yourself, what you need, what you like, and that can lead to another path between the couple. So the woman is in this direction and the man is in this other direction. And it's very hard to try to work around this situation when the paths are, and we know so many couples in this situation, but they are not aware of that. We observe, and it's clear for us.
Obviously.
We see it very clearly on couples when someone is going in this direction and the other one is going in that direction. So imagine Tina is trying to go this way and I'm trying to go this way, but we're holding the hands because we want to work here out, but we are on different directions. So what actually this does is that I cannot go in my direction and you cannot go in your direction. So at the end, is this serving anyone in the relationship? And if you get to the conclusion, it's not serving anyone, because what's the purpose of our relationship? And think about it. What's the purpose of being in a relationship? Being in a relationship with your partner has the purpose of enhancing your life, has the purpose of supporting you on your journey, on your purpose, on your mission, on your vision, on your desires, most importantly. If you're hearing Brad and Lola and you believe, like we believe, that we can have the 100% in our relationship, all what we desire with one partner, then stay on the channel and stay on the video. If not, well, we say to you that it's possible, right? If you want to believe it. It's what you believe, right? So don't settle for less than the 100%. And that's what happens to most couples. After so many years, they say, okay, well, this is as good as it's going to get. Yes, we have a different kind of love now. Maybe it's more a friendship, 50-50, and we are not going to get this passion. Well, let me tell you that that's not true, okay? But the first thing I think we can come to the first point is, where are we right now? And that's the first things that we do on our program, Pull Me Closer. Like, we're already telling you the exercises. First, sit down. What are your values, your needs, your desires, your vision, alone? And then check them with your partner, right? And where are our paths aligned or are in two different directions? Because we have to start here. If we want to reignite the passion, first we need to see that we are on the same line. If not, it doesn't make any sense, right? Even though we love our partner deeply. But it's not supporting my partner, it's not supporting me to try to work out something that is meant to separate. And that's what happens also with relationships. We get in relationships to learn about ourselves, to grow, to evolve, right? And there comes a time where the lessons are already learned and we have to move on. And that's what happens with relationship. We have to have a lot of relationships to know who we are, to know what we need. If you just have been with one person, it's very difficult to have explored more. And that's why we always recommend, to have had experience if you can, right? With different partners, in my case, with different type of women, different ages, different needs, and I see myself in so many of these circumstances that at the end I know what is good for me, right? But I need those experiences. And something very important to understand is that this conversation has to start with the woman, because the man even cannot realize the situation. Because what a man tries to do, if it's a good man, of course, is try to keep up the family, to provide the family, to support the family. And he's like, I am a man and I have a family, okay? And my preoccupations and my worries are that to keep the family alive, and I'm so busy on that that maybe I'm not checking in. Okay, what's the intimacy with my partner? I don't think a man is like thinking of those things, but a woman, yes, she's all the time thinking about connection, about intimacy, about love making, and that's all the things that the woman thinks about. So it's very important to check in with your partner. And I would say further, maybe you fear have that conversation with your partner. But if you have, and you take that step, and that's the first step, you take that step and you have that conversation, you will see how your man, if he's truly for you, will thank you and will say, thanks for sharing. I love when Tina comes and shares what she's seeing, because I'm very, on my head, so many weeks, or, and she does a checkup. And then I say, oh, thanks for letting me know all of this. And of course, men always wanna succeed and always wanna please the woman, right? So whenever a man that wants to be with her woman gets this feedback, he doesn't take it as a judgment, right? Also, depending on how the woman addresses. That's why we have our program, Let's Talk About It. If you want to check it, it's like, how can I communicate these things to my partner? And you need to know different techniques and the tone that you use, how you address the topic. Are you addressing it with resentment? Are you addressing it with expectation? Are you addressing it judgmentally? Right? All these things will create a reaction on your partner. But are you coming from a compassionate point? From where are you coming when you're having this conversation? So there's a lot to learn on how to have this honest communication. That's why one of the first pillar of our connection and intimacy code is honest communication. And there's so much to learn on emotional intelligence, right? But that's another topic. So there we go. Like, the woman has to start the conversation, and that's the hardest part, because why not the man? Well, I think we agree on this. That has to be the woman, and will always be the woman the first. Women are always first.
Exactly. The thing, women are mostly growing faster. They want to have more. We are an ever evolving, expansive
And
being.
the man keeps up, if he can, keeps up with the woman, because the woman, there's this guy that talks about the woman in the womb, and it's always expanding because it's connected to the void, and so it's always expanding. And the man is like, okay, I'm coming behind. But this is a truth. A truth is that the woman is much steps further than the man. Like, we can all agree on this. If we have a conversation with any couple, we know that the woman is 10, 20 steps, further than the man. And then the man has to do and be invested on wanting to go where the woman wants. And that's another thing to talk about. As a man, do I want to please my woman just to please my woman? Or also, do I want to think about myself, right? If you're listening and you're a man, or you're sending this to your partner or to a friend, like, think about it. As a man, I also have to learn my boundaries and what I need and what I want, not just the woman, right? What is what I want, need? What are my values, my vision? Maybe I don't want to go where my woman wants to go. And that is something that also men need to work on, which is boundaries, knowing who they are, and not just following their woman wherever they go, right? So yes, maybe as a woman, I want this, but what about the man? Maybe the man wants to go in another direction, right?
Or not in the same pace. I remember in my marriage before, this can be very exhausting, or even worse for a man. If you want to keep up, but you're not able for whatever reason, this can be financial, physically, health-wise, emotionally, like whatsoever this is not the question here. The question is, this is actually maybe draining me or exhausting me. I want to keep up because I love this woman, and ignoring that maybe my system, my soul, my body can't keep up.
But
So
this is what usually happens.
Yeah, and this is what you said before. And I remember our conversation with my ex-husband. In the end, after, lots of tears, pain, ego trigger, whatsoever, it is the best decision for both to become the version we truly are by going in different directions. And I think we should normalize that this is okay. Yes, there comes age, anger, trigger, sadness, grief, melancholy. Everything comes with it. And emotions are something beautiful when we know how to process them, how to learn what they tell us, and to feel. This is what makes us different from AI. We feel. We can feel and learn through emotions. And this is okay. So back to the question, and maybe you want to add something like, yes, when you sit down and have the conversation, and what you also said, maybe I add this, having a difficult conversation and addressing this. Yes, you don't want to do it because you don't want to do harm to anyone. You don't want to hurt. You want to maybe also manage a bit the feelings, what is definitely not possible. It's not our job to manage another one's feelings, because then we are controlling someone. We want to have everyone else's their life experience and their emotions and their feelings and going through whatever comes up.
Supporting, of course.
Yes,
but
of course.
not managing. Supporting, not
Yes,
managing.
yeah,
It's different.
difference, a big difference. And then also addressing it makes what Bruno was saying, like it's the most fair thing you can do to yourself and to your partner.
And that's loving your partner. That's
Exactly.
actually loving
This
your
is
partner.
love, right? This
If you
is
say
love.
that you love your partner, but you're just talking to your friends or to your best friend about it, and you're not actually talking to your partner, well, what kind of love is that? And you have to sit down and check in. Like, do I love my partner, but in which way? Fully? I'm transparent, honest with my partner. That's the highest love, which is being transparent and actually addressing anything that comes. And if we are really a couple, we'll work through it, right? We'll go through it.
So back to, I don't know when we said it, we can mark it here in the video. The question, when do I know to move on, or is it possible to reignite? This is happening with checking with yourself first, and then with your partner. And if you're in the same boat of, yes, we want this, then Brad and Lola tells you 100% it's possible. And we teach various ways, or you find it also in the internet. Or you sit down and realize, yeah, maybe it's no longer aligned, and then it's totally fine to move on.
And I will say more, you already know. If you were sitting here with us, I would tell you, you already know the answer. Yes, you can check with your partner whatever you want and have all the conversations. But as a woman, if you're listening and you're a woman, you already know the answer to the question. So yes, we made all this video, but at the end, you already know what you're gonna do. Because as a woman, you're tapping into, you have an intuition that most men don't have, and you have a sensibility. And don't check with your mind, check with your heart. Love is from the heart, right? Not from the mind. And that's where you wanna live, right?
Remember, you can't suppress what's burning inside, and this means that these desires, they stay with you. And now it's for you the only question, are you and your partner in for fulfilling them together and learning something completely new, resetting, going back to zero, learning to create more attraction again, clearing the air about the resentments, getting to know each other completely new, and then learning a completely new way of intimacy. So there are several steps to take. We did another video about it, we can link it here, how to actually do it. Or is this now a sign to move on? We are here. We are not going anywhere. Brad and Lola will serve and support you in any ways, whatever.
For a lifetime.
Whatever our vision and mission is huge. So whatever video you want maybe us to make, you have a question, a comment, put it here in the chat boxes, and then we see it, we can answer it, we can do new videos about it.